your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Health and Wellness advising the public that as a consequence of the identification of a new COVID variant of the concern, Omicron, the government of the Bahamas has imposed travel restrictions on travelers from the following countries with effect at midnight tonight: Botswana, Eswatini, formerly known as Swaziland, Lesotho, Malawi, Mozambique, Namibia, Zimbabwe, and South Africa. Individuals not ordinarily resident in the Bahamas who have traveled to, through, or from these countries within the last 14 days will not be allowed entry into the Bahamas at this time. Individuals who are ordinarily resident, that is, citizens, permanent residents, and individuals with work permits, may be permitted to enter the Bahamas, but will be subject to mandatory quarantine for 14 days at their own expense and will undergo screening as mandated by the Ministry of Health and Wellness. This advisory applies to individuals who are vaccinated or unvaccinated. All other existing entry requirements as outlined in the COVID Health Services Rules 2021 must be adhered to. The Ministry of Health and Wellness strongly advises against travel to the countries mentioned at this time. For additional information, you can contact the Ministry of Health and Wellness at 242-502-4700. And in the spirit of Thanksgiving, a former patient at the Grand Bahamas Health Services returning to the Ram Memorial Hospital to say thank you to the staff there for providing her with excellent service during her time at the island's premier healthcare facility. Chandri's Woodside Roll says, after a life-threatening incident, she was transported to the Ram Memorial Hospital. The former patient noting that it was the quality care she received from the healthcare facility that prompted her to return to say a big thank you to the entire staff for not only helping to save her life, but the lives of many others on a daily basis.
Everybody was just overwhelmingly, extraordinarily nice. And they didn't know who I was. I'm pretty sure they didn't know who I was. Because when I got there initially, the security kept asking me, are you okay? Are you okay? You think you need a nurse? Your brother said this, your brother said that. So it was just pure organic concern that I felt from every single person that I interacted during that time.
She says she's forever grateful to the healthcare professionals for helping her to make the best decision possible and is encouraging them to continue to do their best.
God was definitely on display from the start to the finish because there were so many incidents where I knew it was only God. And so I just want to say thank you again from the bottom of my heart. You are all angels in my eyes, and continue to do the work that you are doing is just so selfless. It's just amazing that you put your lives on the line day after day. And whether you hear thank you or not, I'm just here to say thank you from the rest of us.
Deputy Medical Chief of Staff Dr. Winston Forbes noting that this year has been a trying year for the Grand Bahamas Health Services due to the huge impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. He says it is difficult every day getting up and taking care of so many patients during these adverse times, especially given the outcome they've been seeing.
In order to continue to wake up and doing your all, giving your all, I think it is nice to actually interact with some positive results, because most hospitals, most healthcare facilities had at least 70 to 80% mortality, and some closer to 100%. And so it is very difficult keeping yourself motivated when you face with those type of conditions. But I think gestures like this gives us more energy to continue to wake up and fight another day. So I'm particularly grateful for Mrs. Royal's recognition, and not just of the doctors and nurses, but the whole healthcare workers, because at the end of the day, it does take a team effort from top to bottom in order to save a life.
Senior Assistant Hospital Administrator Sharonette Norville-Smith says it is their aim to ensure that their patients are satisfied.
We are delighted that Mrs. Roll deemed it necessary to come back and say thank you. While we recognize that the Grand Bahama Health Services may have its challenges, but on recognizing this, we are prepared and willing to stand up to the challenges and deal with them one by one, strategically and methodically.
And now it is time for a check on sports with Jay Philippe.
Good evening, I'm Jay Philippe and welcome to Sports. It was a beautiful weekend of basketball on the island of Bimini for Division I Women's Hoops. Two powerhouse conference teams playing for bragging rights with the tournament resume on the line early on in the season. Let's jump into action. Final day of competition at the NCAA Division I Gombe Splash Women's Basketball Tournament on the beautiful island of Bimini at the Gateway Christian Academy School Gymnasium between the 5-0 UNT Tar Heels, fresh off a 72-58 win over VCU the day before, going up against the University of Washington Huskies with a 2-2 record. The Huskies got on the board first with a deep three from junior guard T.T. Watkins. The Huskies again running its half-court offense to get a backdoor layup from Lauren Swartz. The Tar Heels would answer with a shifty layup from Deja Kelly for the basket and a trip to the charity stripe. Now it's Carolina's turn to showcase their half-court set with excellent ball movement with a pin-down screen for Ava Hodges, who then opened up for 3 of her game-high 15 points. At the half, the Tar Heels has a commanding 32-13 lead. Jumping into second half action, Kelly continuing to find the gaps for another 3-point opportunity the old-fashioned way. Just minutes later in transition, Deja Kelly navigating the lane to find her sweet spot for a nice mid-range jumper to cap an 11-point performance from the 5'8 sophomore guard. And from there on, ladies and gents, it was all UNC clicking from all cylinders to run away with a 58-37 victory to win the first ever Gombe Splash Women's Basketball Tournament.
This was a great experience for us to come out here to y'all's island. We had a blast. It was obviously it topped it off to win the championship. So we really enjoyed our time here. These wins were big for us. These were two, especially this game. This was a Power 5 team that we beat. So this will definitely give us some more confidence going into the rest of the season. We still have a lot more work to do, but these were two really good wins for us.
It's been 2 years since basketball has been played in Bimini, but the man with the vision, Apostle Gilbert Rhodes Sr., says he's excited that it's back.
To see the dream come back again, the people are excited. We're excited to see it again because, we had nothing to do on the island for a little while. And so now it's movements again to see that we can move around. Proper protocol is already put in place. And so it brings great excitement and joy. People come in, they're spending, they're going to straw vendors, they're living in rooms, they are renting golf carts. And so it boosts not only the people, but the economy. And so not only that, just to see that we can move around again as a family. And so this is very exciting to have Gombe Splash, it was Jonkunu Jams, Gombe Splash back in Bimini once again. And we are forever grateful to have them, and we welcome them every time.
And that's a quick check on sports. I'm Jay Philippe. Be blessed.